damn we're gonna make it.
Well, finally, we're back, and we got a lot of unboxing to do. We got $755 worth of parts, which you wouldn't think would get you much when it comes to turbos, but we got everything, so that's cool. All from eBay, all within 4 days. So all these guys talking about parts back orders and stuff, doesn't happen for China. So this little part here, our blow-off valve comes with an aluminum one of those. We don't have TIG, so this stainless one was like $12, $13, something like that. I'll put all the links to all this junk in the description, but had to grab one of these, that way we could actually weld it to our cold side, because otherwise we would have been out of luck. So these little doodads are 38mm wastegates. Come with some type of spring and all that good stuff. Don't know, I don't think there's any other springs in the kit, but we can get those separate if we need to. But it comes with all your fittings and such for plumbing everything, and your little deals to put on the pipes. And
these will be your screamer pipes technically, won't they?
Yep. So we'll got these clamps basically to go up to there, and one will weld to your exhaust, and the other one, your dump pipe off of this, will weld to it. So those are kind of nice and seem like decent quality for what little or nothing they cost. So that one, and then this one's obviously the same, so we'll spare you the time of looking at that one, but we'll do these first because that one's the good stuff. I don't know what's in this one.
Not a bag.
Ooh, perfect. Shit's ass. Yeah, yes. Oh, yeah. So we thought these ones were actually going to be late.
What brand is that?
Yes, it's the Hellcat brand. We got the little beam on there. That's what Dodge uses. But yeah, so we're gonna put these Mopar flanges on our eBay turbos. These will go obviously on the inlet of the turbo. These are super thick boys, so that's cool. But yeah, we'll basically form the pipe to these, weld it on there.
Smash it with the vise.
Yeah, pretty much. Bolt that onto the turbo, and then that'll be good. Ooh, oh.
Chinese stickers? Nope.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's gonna go somewhere other than the car. Check. Chickspania Racing.
Interesting.
Well, okay.
Go over to China and see what they
Yeah, you can look that brand up and just be cautious of what you search. Yeah, so these go on the back of the turbos. Got their own gaskets. Turbos got their gaskets too.
One in a bag, one in a
And then the 3-inch V-bands that will go on this are sitting on my shelf at home, so that's cool.
I have 3-inch V-bands
Oh,
too.
we're fine then. So yeah, we got V-bands on this. We'll just zip them on to our dump pipes, and that'll be perfect. So we got 2 of those, obviously, and I think that's it for bags. Ooh, we got this one. That's the blow-off valve for order of elimination. 50mm blow-off valve for the cold side. Yeah. This one did not come with variable, or I should say multiple springs. It's just got one. So we'll have to get more of those if we need them. We'll probably just run this one to tune and test and all that good stuff, but it says Tile on it, so you know that's name brand. Whether it's actually Tile, I don't know, but hey, it's
made in the USA.
See, that's, we're gonna put this like right up top, so that's what you're gonna see. So all of this, made in USA, so that's the important stuff. And then, yeah, there's your spring. I think that is a 6-pound spring.
It feels like 6 pounds.
Yeah. So, there's that. And then, yeah, that's the aluminum one that we can't weld. So, it is very much lighter than the other one.
We're building a 70 Monte Carlo.
But, I mean, you know, those 14 grams are going to be negligible. And then this bad boy is what everybody actually wants to see, you know.
Max speed.
Max speed. This is actually a fairly popular eBay brand turbo, not gonna lie. And $120 a piece. So if you want to turbocharge something, honestly, this is the way to go. They actually look really nice.
Good quality units.
Whether they are or not, we'll find out. But they look pretty good. Yeah. So these are 3582. They're like a 63.5 millimeter, I guess, what it equates to. But
it's ever so slightly bigger than Duramax turbo.
You know, if you get the camera really close, this thing's huge.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that one, and then there's one over there too.
We got excited.
We just didn't want to. Yeah, we were kind of eyeballing where we wanted it, and we already took it out. So you know, there's the unboxing of that one. The other one came out of the box just like that one did. So yeah. But yeah, that's everything that we're gonna use today, I believe. Oh yeah, we do have one more box. Forgot about this. It was kind of out of sight, out of mind. And also, I mean, if anybody was wondering, I am walking again. Slowly.
Kinda.
Slowly. It's not a great process. But back to car stuff.
Desk work.
Yeah, I'm on desk work, so I'm sitting in a chair. If anybody's watching, sitting in a chair. Ooh. Yep, it's in there. So hopefully.
This is probably, we could have went cheaper on this for sure.
Yeah, see, it's a little smaller than it looks in pictures. But it should be alright.
We wanted to go a little different with our, I guess, say routing of this to make it easier. We could have got a couple different ones that had two side inlets and one side that goes to the intake, but I think this one's going to look a little better because we'll have one side coming in here, one side coming in here, and then this is the big one that's going to go right to the freaking throttle body that's not there. But
so this thing right here will hopefully be sticking out of the middle of this area right here once we figure out what depth we want to make it and all that stuff. But
maybe,
yeah, it should fit absolutely perfect if we like it. We might have very minimal changing around. Oh, look at that.
Oop.
Oh. Hello. Oh,
yeah, just
so
some
close.
minor trimming.
Yeah, we'll be all right. But
and then
basically,
easy brackets to make right there.
Yeah.
Off to there to there.
Yeah.
We'll probably trim this up.
So we might actually go under the frame at this rate. I don't know. On our bottom inlets, we're still kind of thinking about that, but they're low enough that we might be able to go up and under easier than going through all of this stuff. But basically our thought on it was this middle pipe here, that's going to look super cool, just like straight back to the engine. That'll be pretty neat. So we'll try and do that out of some nice shiny stuff, you know, to offset this stuff.
Contraption.
But yeah, our manifolds are actually mounted and
solid,
tight. You know,
power steering's hooked up.
This will probably not be here, unfortunately. But you never know. If turbos don't work out, we might leave the turbos mounted and just run this. That'd be cool.
Right.
But yeah,
we'll have to cut this off down here and make our own pipe probably to put them somewhere up in this area. But
we're kind of trying to keep them half fender in the middle of the turbo, you know, a little over, a little under.
Right.
We'll see what happens.
Doesn't really matter at that point. But
like Brendan's saying, the power steerings, what all did you have to do to that?
I took the old, I don't really know what the correct term was for it, but here's the old one. I took this guy out right there, which you can get it out. This is actually out of the LS pump. I took that out of the LS pump, put this factory one out of the 71, which it might not be the factory pump, but it bolt screwed right in the back of that, and the line screwed right into it. And the return line, I bent that out a little bit. Bent the return line out.
So here's your return.
And this is the return, and it just goes right to there. So it's actually all clear. The manifold's a little tight on the steering shaft back here, but I think there's plenty of room. If not, it'll self-clearance itself.
So everything's solid mounted besides this piece, you know.
Right.
Everything here is solid mounted, so this should be all right.
Hopefully, this don't ever have to come back out.
Yeah. Worst case, I mean, it might rub a clean spot in that manifold, you know. Who cares?
Not that big of a deal. It's just steering.
So, yeah, we're getting there. And then other news, this pump is going to go in that hole. So
should fit.
Yeah, we scored this tank off of Marketplace. Look at how clean this thing is. You know what I paid for that?
$40.
$40.
And some guy showed up looking like Joe Dirt's son and said this was out of his Le Mans, and he said he only wanted $40 for it, so here we are.
Hey, you know, it's better than that one.
Right.
And it's perfect. So he cut a hole in that one first, you know.
Just to make sure it fits.
Test stuff.
We didn't want to waste $40.
Yeah, that'd be rough.
So.
Kill our budget.
Okay.
We got a nice little foam gasket doodad on there.
This guy will actually sit like so. And then we'll just probably self-tap screw it down into there, maybe put some silicone if we have some.
We might slather it up with some stuff to make sure it doesn't leak, but
it fits tight enough down there. If it does leak, it's going to be very minimal.
Yeah, it's behind the car.
But
it's fine.
If you want to know what that pump is, that's a ZL1 pump. I got a buddy that's got a ZL1, and he put it's
like 5th gen.
It's a 5th gen Camaro, but it was a factory LS3 car, and he put a Pro Charger on it, so he put a ZL1 pump in it. And he is now exceeding the limits of the ZL1 pump, so I said, hey, I'll take it. So we got it. I think I gave him $50 for this pump, and then I gave him $50 for the shifter that's in the car now. So, I mean, it's a little more than I wanted to spend, but I think it's going to work out perfect. So if you guys ever need to put a LS in one of these ZL1 pump, drill a hole. It's a 5-inch hole saw. That was quite pricey. It was like $45 just for the hole saw. But
shop tools, you know,
right,
that don't count. So yeah, I mean, really, we're still pretty good at this.
It's only about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch off the bottom of the tank, so you're not going to get the full amount out of the tank, but
it'd be all right.
It's not a $500 Holly tank or something like that with a pump in it.
That is true. And then those are on a boat somewhere, so you're never going to get those.
Right.
But yeah, I think we're doing pretty good on
any
budget
parts store in America has that. So.
All right. So budget wise, I think we're doing all right. We've got quite a bit of stuff, honestly. Harnesses back there, it's looking pretty good. We'll kind of get all this hot and cold side and turbo stuff plumbed up before we deal with laying the harness on.
Harness is a 10-15 minute job.
Yeah,
putting on an engine, it's not that bad, especially when it's this open.
Yeah, the only thing we will have to do to it is the cam sensor is now in the front, and that harness has it in the back.
Right. So it's a 2-wire sensor. It's going to be super easy.
Yeah, it ain't going to take very long.
Right. Whatever colors we feel like using the wire.
But that's the only really thing we'll have to change, I guess.
The brakes still need bled. I mean, still needs bled, but all the brakes are on
just
it.
These two. I'm not worried about the back ones.
Right. They'll probably have vice grips on them anyways.
So yeah, that's where we're at. We're going to try and do a little less time lapse, maybe get a little more work in here. So it might be a little spotty, but we want to get you actually into the action. We will have some time lapse, obviously, but we get you into the action and see how we're going to mount these things. We might just start off by cutting these things off and getting our turbos where we want them and connect the dots, and then mount this thing, and then again connect the dots, throw the intake on, connect the dots. Can't be that hard. I mean,
we're hoping by the end of the day to have almost all this fab work done.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Did you just look at that? So, I mean, you know, This isn't like 7-second car build professional territory, but I mean, there's turbo there. That's our goal, right?
Right.
Perfect.
Another one coming over here.
Yeah. A few times we've been around that track. It's not just gonna happen like that. We gotta build this stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So basically what we did on this side, kind of measured where we wanted it, marked a line, cut a little divot in here, flipped it over, cut this to length, widthwise, and welded it back on, drilled some holes, mounted our flange, wherever the other one is. This piece right here, you know, this thing that this bolts to. So we drilled holes through this piece that matched this one, and then bolted it on there, and it's not going anywhere. So basically it's just going to help kind of hold the weight a little bit. Obviously we're going to have hot side pipe here. That's bolted to the engine, so this will support it too, but it just kind of takes some of the weight off of the manifold and all that good stuff. But it's in a pretty awesome spot, not gonna lie. I think we really like where it is. I mean, from the front you can see all of it.
From the back,
from the side, you know, half. Pretty cool spot. I think we'll be pretty awesome when we get that other one over here. We'll obviously spin the housing a little bit to where we need it, but I think we're on a good track. So we're gonna go ahead and flop this off where we want it, put that on there, put that on there, and we'll have two of them, and then we'll be on to this stuff.
Hopefully have the hot side done in an hour.
Yeah.
We'll try to time us.
It's been like 4 minutes, you know. Right. I don't know. It's probably been a half hour or so, just kind of figuring out.
It's 1:25 right now. We'll let you know when we have the rest done.
Yeah. It took us a little bit to figure out how we wanted to mount it, and I think this is a pretty good solution. So 125. We'll see you in an hour.
Hopefully.
Well, they were on here, and off of here, and on here, and off of here. Several times. Now they're off. We're getting close. Yeah, it is 6:14, and we're still working on hot side stuff. But hey, it's all right. We're never done this before, so we're learning. But we got pretty much everything how we want it. He's got his side pretty much welded up, except for that flange right there. So his side's about done. This side, same way. We're pretty close. This has all got to be finish welded. Once we get that done, we'll probably hang the turbos again, make sure everything looks good. Then we'll have to find a spot for the wastegates. Imagine on my side here, we'll probably just flop it right in there so it's got primary exhaust flow, and then he'll probably have to figure out kind of where he wants his on that side, but probably the same idea, I would imagine. So we still have to get little pieces of pipe for that to fit inside of that flange. That way we can shove that on, and then probably a small one here so we can go up next to the exhaust. So we'll basically finish weld that, get these pipes, try and get these on, get the turbos mounted. That way we can start on the cold side. So we'll have to notch out the little grill bottom piece so we can get that stood up in there, and then we'll have to figure out some mounting tabs for that, which will be pretty easy. And then we'll be on to going from turbo to intercooler on both sides, and then after that we'll be on to the center. We'll have to throw the intake on for a bit. Yeah, so there's his wastegate will probably be about the same idea. It'll just kind of go on the outside where the first bend is there. But yeah, that's where we're at. We're making pretty good progress.
Takes longer than you think.
Oh yeah, we did take a little eating break, so I mean that counts for something. But yeah, it's getting there. We started with 3-inch, as you guys saw. There's 3-inch pieces around here everywhere. That just did not work with these flanges. They're just too big. It was getting into our holes, and by the time you squished it, it just distorted what you were going to, and it just didn't work. So
these are T4, right?
these are T3 housing.
T3.
Yeah, so they're a little smaller.
If you were using a T4, you probably could use 3-inch, but this
Yeah.
was just, we could have done it with 3-inch, but it would have been pushing it all around.
Yeah, it's harder to work with in this short little path, and the 2.5-inch will flow just enough. But everybody wants that number, you know. You gotta have 3-inch exhaust and stuff, so which we will have from here to here.
Right.
But yeah, we're getting there. It's a process, but one thing at a time. Oh, they're on there. But yeah, got all our stuff welded up. Hot side here, hot side there. The amount of time it took for 12 inches of run was pretty intense, but we got her done. Like I said, we're gonna get these figured out. We're gonna get some pipe for those, and then hot side will be pretty much done except for these, which that's gonna take literally no time at all. And then basically we'll be on to cold side, so we'll clock these however we need to. And I think what we're gonna do is maybe set the radiator back just a hair, because we got 12 foot between there. We will set it back just a little bit and maybe mount the intercooler directly in front of it. We were gonna put it in here, but there's just no room over here to get the charge tubes out and in on either side, and we don't really want to hack it up too bad. So if we can just set it on this side of the core support, we'll have a perfect straight run on each side and then to the intake. So I think that's what we're gonna do. But
Little heat wrap will cover up our really good welds.
yeah, some of them are good, some of them are not.
Right.
But you know, heat wrap will cover up the looks and the sounds of any leaks too. So
Right.
perfect. But this is not really finished mounted. We got to put gaskets in between our flanges on each side and stuff like that, but just kind of to get an idea. And I mean, this, just because it's loose there, but I mean, he shakes that one and it's not moving. I mean, they're solid.
And that's only one bolt tight on this
Yeah.
flange here, so
Yeah, I mean,
I think it'll be more than good enough.
it's not the most beautiful thing in the world, but if we can lay down some power from these little dudes, I think we'll be doing good.
Yeah. Got a drive shaft coming next week for it. It's at the drive shaft shop now. I took a old S10 drive shaft, which is about 53 inches, and what we need for this is like 51 inches. So we got a drive shaft at the drive shaft shop. That's a buddy of ours at work. He says his buddy can do it fairly cheap, so I called him up, and we'll see how cheap that is, I guess, middle of next week. But other than that, drive
Hopefully
shaft, yeah. Other than that, drive shaft put in it. I got to weld the diff. I got it kind of drying out. You're supposed to let it dry out as much as you can before you start welding, and then I'll probably heat it up a little bit and hog some weld on the spider gears, and then that's done there. So
Yeah, so we did the math last night on the T56, and it has 273s in it, and with the tire size that we're gonna be running, 275/60 at 6,000 RPM, in first gear will be at 61 mile an hour. So it's gonna have some long legs on it. I mean, it'll do pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean,
As long as the clutch stays in the car, you know, that's the only thing that might be an issue with having such a tall, I guess to say, gear, or short, however you want to look at it. But other than that, I think the car will do fine. I mean, 6th gear is going to be out of the question no matter what. But
yeah. Burnouts will have lots of tire smoke.
right,
I
if we
imagine.
get it in 2nd gear, that's going to be
Yeah,
wild.
I mean, 90, 100 mile an hour second gear. I mean, that's pretty intense. So I mean, even if we get this to the point where we can cruise it down the highway, I mean, 5th gear, it's going to be getting good fuel mileage. It's going to, I mean, we're not going to be able to beat it. Somebody's going to have to drive it to work because they're just going to be, it's going to be awesome. But
so fuel efficient.
yeah, so ideally it's not the best rear gear to have with this setup.
Right.
Obviously we could run a 373 or 410 and still be fine, but you know, cheap is the end game, and so far we're doing pretty freaking good. So
right. With enough likes and subscribes and shares and stuff, we might be able to put a quick performance 9-inch in this thing.
that would be cool. So as you know, we have a lot of projects and not a lot of money and not a lot of time, so we're doing our best here. And I know this isn't revival stuff, but it's cool. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. We do have a bunch of parts just showed up for Dad's Nova too, so at some point in time we'll get to doing that after LS Fest, because
hopefully after LS Fest everybody's healthy and we can jump on some stuff and start wrenching.
Yeah.
That's the end goal here.
Well, it's the next day, and we pretty much didn't take hardly any video today because we were busy and had stuff to do, but we got a lot done. Intercooler's mounted, radiator's mounted, got radiator hoses figured out, got our wastegates mounted, got
Intake's on.
intake is mounted, our injectors are in there. We got 42-pound injectors in there. We had to space that up for the added height of the injector, but that's all done. We got all of the pulleys on. We just got to get a belt. Really, that's pretty much all of today. We did get these actually sealed and final tightened, as well as these on both sides.
I got the valve covers on for good. The coil packs are on there, but we're gonna have to figure out how to run spark plug wires, whether we extend them. I think on that side, I think most of them will work, at least 3 of them. That back one might be an issue, but this side we got 3 of them that are probably going to be an issue, and 1 of them that's going to be fine. So whether we make a little bit longer and just put some freaking socks on them or whatever, but
so we will have that to deal with. The cold side's gonna be pretty easy. We'll just have whatever boots we need off of the turbo to the intercooler. We'll just have some straight pieces on both sides. We'll probably clock this just a little bit to get it out and around straight into the intercooler there.
that was the whole idea of mounting the intercooler out farther, is we can run pipe right through there without drilling any holes.
Yeah, so obviously your radiator would normally be here. We're gonna put the intercooler here, but it's just we don't have room, so slid everything back. We got all kinds of room here, so just threw that in like that. And this mount from the Monte Carlo worked on the 93
K1500
truck radiator. Worked perfect.
We just had to lower it down just ever so slightly, but
Yep, so it's a little bit lower than the factory radiator mount. It's probably maybe an inch lower, but it's right level with that cross member, so we're not going to hit it on nothing or anything like that. But then our other intercooler stuff will just go from here straight to there, and that'll be easy. We'll have our blow-off valve on it, and that'll be pretty much it. Brennan's got the tank ready. It's sealed up. It's over there. We got it all sealed up. We're going to use the factory send unit for the return, and then obviously send feed from the Z01 pump. He's going to run the lines and all that good stuff.
probably use the factory solid line and just cut it off down there and then run braided up from there to here. But you can take these and you can just notch them a little bit, and you can basically, it'll just be a barb and you can screw a hose clamp down on it. And the return, I probably am going to run braided down to about the same spot as the steel, and then just run some soft line all the way back just for the price factor. Braided is very expensive. I have probably two or three sticks of like 6 foot long, and that's not really enough to make it all the way back. So that's what we'll do with that. Fuel line, I mean, fuel lines are an hour job. We might want to run a filter, but that'll be super easy being that it's just going to be soft hose. So
yeah. And the turbo outlets, the flanges that I ordered for these are too small, so we got to get new ones of those. We will do that, and then we will fab up the wastegate.
These two will be super easy.
Yeah, those will just come up here and go wherever. So that's no big deal there. And then yeah, we're basically putting seats in, switch panel, harness, and
It's not going to look the best, but it'll be close enough for what we need it to be.
we'll have a little bit of pipe off of here depending on how our deal comes. It'll be kind of wherever we want to turn it and put it, so that'll be easy.
It's kind of hard to find 1.5" pipe to come off of these.
Yeah, this is just regular parts store stuff.
It's $3 a piece.
Yeah, cheap and easy. It's all we're looking for. It ain't got to be pretty, obviously, but
we got to get a switch panel for the wiring inside. It's going to be a push button and like 3 switches. We're going to have key switch power, basically. The fuel pump is probably going to be solid switched, and then that's about it for switches, really. And then a push button start. We got to get some minor stuff like an EGR block off plate. We got to extend the cam harness, but that's going to be easy. That's 2 wires.
it'll just run under the intake here up to the front, so that'll be quick. But yeah, that's pretty much where we're at this point. We don't have a ton left, but we only got a couple weeks, so we'll get her done. And
exactly 2 weeks from the day we leave. Me and the girlfriend leave on Labor Day, and he hasn't decided yet, but he'll probably leave.
I think we're leaving Tuesday, if I remember right, so that's what we're gonna do. It'll be at least running and driving by then. We don't know if we'll get to paint or not. If not, oh well. I mean, it'll just go like this, but Brennan's gonna get the tires swapped over on the back.
Extra set of 275 60-15s back there. When I got in an accident, one of the tires got a little groove in it, but other than that, it's just going to be fine for a burnout. It'll smoke. So
we'll run those back there. We're going to swap the 225s up to the front because these are just a 195. It'll look a little better. But yeah, other than that, that's kind of where we're at. So I got to get home. I'm probably going to start editing this tonight, tomorrow, and get this out to you guys. And yeah, we're making really good progress. We had last couple days have been pretty good, so looks cool. They're not absolutely perfect,
we
but
gotta figure out the drain and feed lines, but I think I'll figure that out at work or something. We make hydraulic lines there, so we'll probably do that.
yeah, we just got basically one little fitting to go in, and then just a normal drain, and we already have the drains tapped in the pan, and then we have the ICT billet adapter for the oil filter head, so we'll run our supply straight from that up to these, and that'll be it.
The return line will probably just be some softish hose, probably not thick hydraulic hose. It'll just be some soft hose. It'll maybe see a max of 10 psi. The feed lines will see whatever base engine oil pressure is, minus a few for the distance.
These turbos have a little restrictor kind of built in them, so they shouldn't be too much or too little for that. But so yeah, but that's where we're at. We're gonna end it off there. I know this video from yesterday and today is a lot of talking, but there's a lot of updates to happen. A lot has gone on recently, so we're excited about it. We're going to keep thrashing on this hopefully within the next couple weeks, and you'll see it running very shortly. So thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.